I'm Kelly Hill Ross, and welcome to the show. Before we tune in, I want you to sit down and relax and have a cup of coffee or tea or your favorite beverage. Today's show is all about fathers, the role they play in a child's life from the very beginning. It is a father's tender affection for their offspring that makes them a vital part in the upbringing of a child. According to the Pediatric American Academy of Pediatrics and Pediatric Associates of Franklin Association, fathers provide an emotional development. Fathers, like mothers, are pillars in the development of a child's emotional well-being. They also look to their fathers to provide a feeling of security, both physical and emotional. Children want to make their fathers proud, and an involved father promotes inner growth and strength. That's why we wanted to talk to Larry Woody, a native Baltimorean who left Baltimore, headed to Philadelphia, and ended up becoming the director of Focus on the Fathers, a nonprofit organization designed to provide services to fathers to help them create and maintain a healthy, positive involvement in their children's lives. So sit down and let's listen to Larry's interview.
For all her lonely life, she was afraid of something she could not name, nor could she say how it would come. And as the
Let me just start off with some general questions. And I guess we'll start with what's going on right now today. And, uh,
Okay.
and how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected your organization and your ability to meet with your clients?
Well, we've been out of the office since I don't know, maybe the middle of March or the beginning of March. So we're all working from home. All of us that can, because I work for the Public Health Management Corporation. That's a huge nonprofit here in Philadelphia, and we deliver all types of services to the homeless, to shelters, uh, um, uh, primary care clinics. Um, you name it, we do it. Nutrition, drugs, tobacco, all those things. So some of us can work from home. So we were in the middle of classes when we went out of the office. So we just we finished out the classes we had, but what we did was we had to set ourselves up to do it remotely. So we have a pretty good IT department, so that was done immediately, and we just had to let the guys know that we were shifting over to virtual classes online. Uh, we finished some of the guys out just over the phone, doing classes with them individually because class may have 8, 9 guys in it. But we switched to virtual classes, and then we started a new cohort uh, in May. And that was a first for us because we never had done that before. But we have that cohort going, and we started another one just last week. And then, our program also offers parenting education and co-parenting to men and women. And we are running a cohort of that virtually online. So it's interesting. I've been in on the classes. The guys, I'm sorry, it went a lot better than I thought, and it was a lot easier than I thought. The big deal was to recruit, to let people know we were doing it suddenly, but we already had a strong pipeline and we just tapped into it, let everybody know where we were, and we just shifted over. It's gone pretty well.
Okay, do you feel that your your clients have had any mental impact from this isolation?
Oh, I, you know, I'm sure they have. I actually, I'm managing the program now, so I actually I'm not right there in the classes with the guys. Although everybody that comes into this program generally comes through me. I mean, I talk to everybody first, but we expect that if we do go back into the office and start doing classes in person, we're going to hear some issues. And we're, well, I can talk about it later, but we're in the process of our program being refunded. And we're going to add a mental health component because we know that there are going to be people that need that. Um, uh, our classes are fairly, in some ways, therapeutic. We have a curriculum, we have an agenda, but essentially the classes are driven by the guys, and so they talk about what they're dealing with, what they're going through, and I'm finding that a lot of people are adapting reasonably well, given some of their circumstances or whatever. Most of our clients are neighborhood guys, and it's a lower economic um, demographic. But the guys are, what happens is they're focused on the class, and the class is about parenting education and, learning skills as a father. And generally, they're pretty focused on just that in the time that they're with us. We know things are going on in their lives. As a matter of fact, I mean, the big difference between before and now is that we're talking to them while they're in their house, or sometimes they're in their car, or one guy was in 5 different places during one class. I just couldn't believe it. He never lost focus. He's talking, he's in the car, he's walking down the street, he's in the store. The whole time he's taking the class and talking and everything. It's just amazing to me. That's where I'm saying I couldn't have anticipated that they would adapt that well. But the guys that come to us are pretty focused about what they want. Now, in some cases, it's because they have to be there. Their parole officer told them, or a judge told them, or DHS told them that you must take this. Now, they're not mandated to take our class, but they have a reason to be there. A lot of them. There's some guys that are there because they just want to be better parents, but that's the minority. Most guys are there because somebody's asked them or ordered them to be there.
Okay. So you mentioned about your financial status. You've applied for additional funding to add that mental health component to it. If you don't receive it, how will you just continue the same way, or do you have other avenues?
Well, okay. Again, Focus on Fathers is we're part of something called the Health Promotion Council at the Public Health Management Corporation, and I worked as a case manager, and then I became a group facilitator, facilitating the healthy relationship co-parenting classes. I really like that. That is what I miss more than anything else, was doing those classes. Because we had a really good curriculum and they just were really lively sessions. But then I became program coordinator and then program manager. So I've been around it a long time.
So is this something that's franchised in other cities, Focus on the Fathers?
No, it isn't. Each program that has a grant, they're all individual. But they're all part of the Administration for Children and Families. But every city is different. We happen to be in a big city with a large Black population, and a relatively poor city. And so what we do is different than any other city, than New York or Chicago. Every city is going to have their own feel and flavor. But here in Philadelphia, it's neighborhood guys, guys that are tricked up in the criminal justice system or family court. So what we do is very, very individual. And now we have a curriculum. A lot of people use the same curriculum that we do, but no 2 places are going to do it the same. We essentially look at the curriculum as a jump off point for discussion. It gives some points that you need to get to. Our program's driven by the facilitators, the guys that are running those classes. And I trust them to communicate with those brothers, because
Okay.
that's basically what we're trying to do.
All right. And I thought I heard you say that for some of the fathers, it's mandatory that they participate. Is this part of those that may have gone through the system in some way, the court system, or been incarcerated, or there may have been maybe some domestic abuse and there was a need for them to, attend and it became mandatory?
Well, all of those things,
Okay.
every single one. Each guy has his own little story, but for some of them it is mandated. I would say maybe 75% of the guys that come to us are mandated by somebody. Now, they've been told to take a parenting class, so they'll look around. A lot of them have lawyers. The lawyers will look around. They'll find us online. We're known by the courts, and we have a really good reputation. And the judges, the lawyers, the social workers, they all know that if a guy comes to us, they'll get they'll get the parenting education they're supposed to. They'll get in the hours. They'll get it in regularly. They know that we have a good curriculum, that we're well thought of. And so, essentially, if a guy's mandated, what he has to do is take the class and then come back and prove he took the class. And they have to trust that the class is good, that it satisfies whatever it is they're looking for. And so we have that reputation. So a lot of guys come to us, but they may be tricked up in criminal court. They may be involved in family court, in which case their kids are in foster care, and this is something they have to do to help them get their kids back.
Mhm.
Or now we don't get a lot of guys that have domestic violence issues, even though we screen for that when we admit guys into the program.
Right.
But we don't get a lot of that because there are a lot of other programs that do that. We're about parenting education. That's what we're about. We're there to help these guys be better dads, to be better partners in the case of our remix program, which is Healthy Relationships Co-Parenting. But it's essentially skills, just those skills, just knowing what parenting's about and what it is that it's not as scary as many of them might think, and that nobody has all the answers. It's all that kind of stuff, all that kind of education, how children grow, how do you discipline children without smacking them around.
Right.
It's we're giving them a lot, and I tell everybody our program is about personal responsibility.
Mhm.
That is the core of what we are talking about and what we're doing. That these guys need to understand that they have to take responsibility for what's going on in their lives. And if they have children, it's even more important,
Well,
especially. Go
that
ahead.
brings me to my next question is, what do you feel is the main reason why dads don't stay in touch with their kids?
Well, I could do 2 hours on that. But I'll tell you, I mean, what I've learned, and I've got a lot, I've been doing this for a long time. I have a lot of experience with this. There are a lot of reasons that sometimes guys aren't engaged with their children. Now, mind you, I was super engaged with my son. The first 3 years of my son's life, I stayed home. I raised him. His mom went back to work. We're still close today. I did all the doctor's visits, took him to the playground every day, changed the diapers. I did all of that. But that's me.
How do you advertise? How do you let people know about your program?
The best way to reach people to recruit for us has been through email blast. So I go around, I do a lot of speaking about the Focus on Fathers program all over the city. I like to speak to female audiences, but social workers, home care providers, people like that, people out in the community. And while I'm doing it, I'm collecting email addresses. And so when we're ready to do a class, we just put out an email blast and the referrals come in. And our referral process is beautiful. It's easy. You just go to www.focusonfathers.org and that takes you to our website. There's a link on there. You click on it. You fill out the referral form. It's basically name, address, phone number, and then I will get in touch with you within. And if that's where I come in, I'll get in touch with you within 24 hours of getting that referral. Um, and, uh, and the thing is, once you complete the referral, it immediately sends me an email. I'm saying when you click submit, I get it the next second. And so I'll usually assign it to a case manager. The case manager will get to you within 48 hours. And at that point, you'll decide whether you want to do it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, it works really well.
Oh, that's fantastic. So a relative or a friend or anyone from the school system can recommend your program.
Anybody in the city. Anybody, now what we prefer, I prefer that the guy calls me or fills out that form. But very often it might be his mom or his girlfriend or whatever. In those cases, I will call because we ask for the person's making the referral. We ask for their information. I'm going to call that mom. I'm going to call that girlfriend. I'm going to say, does he know you're doing this? Because if he doesn't, and I call him, he's going to say, I told her not to call you, or I told her not to get in my business. And so we just reach out to whoever made the referral to make sure that the guy knows he's being referred, and then that gives him a chance to make the call himself, which gives us a better chance of success. I found that out from fielding all these calls. If a guy didn't know, they get really defensive. But anybody can make a referral. Anybody from any agency in the city can make a referral. Everything that we offer is free, and really, except for the people that are mandated, it's voluntary.
So that brings us full circle. Let's talk about you and your background, and how did it mold you, and how did it impact what you're doing now? We're talking about, your childhood. You said you have a son, your education. You've written a book, which is called In Black and White.
Yes.
And, music, you're into acting. So how does all that play into where you are now, or why you got involved with, and you feel so passionate about what you're doing now?
Okay, I'm going to end up with working in fatherhood, and I'm going to breeze through, the early stuff.
Okay.
It's really feels immodest to be talking about that stuff, but I'm from, I mentioned before, I was born and raised in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on Edmondson Avenue, 1315 Edmondson Avenue, right next door to Club Astoria. Do you know Club Astoria?
Oh, yes, I remember. Well, look, okay, I guess we're telling our age, right?
Yeah, right. Okay, right. Well, it's okay. Well, it doesn't exist anymore, so nobody knows.
That's right.
But I used to live right next door to Club Astoria, and but I grew up in Baltimore. I went to Harlem Park Elementary School, Harlem Park Junior High School, and while I was at the junior high school, and I'll just say early on, I figured out that my way, because my thing is, we're in Harlem Park. We're about as poor as we could possibly be. And it is as rough a neighborhood as it could be. Now, yes. You might know the area. Okay, there was a sense of family. I enjoyed growing up in Harlem Park, but let's not kid ourselves. We were poor, down there. If you down that way back then, we're talking about, for me, back in the 60s.
If someone is in your area and they are interested in finding out more about Focus on the Fathers, what's your website, telephone number, or they contact you directly?
Yeah, if they go to, it's the same thing for our referral. If they go to www.focusonfathers.org, that's our website. My number's on there. If they go online and type in Focus on Fathers, it'll pop up, in Philadelphia, and all the literature has my name and my number on it.
Okay.
So everybody talks to me.
Okay. All right. Well, Larry, in closing, I want to say I have enjoyed our conversation and finding out about Focus on the Fathers. I think it's an excellent program because fathers need to know the dynamics of a family. And, they're not born with the knowledge in their head. They need
Yeah.
to be taught that, and these are things that they don't teach in school at
No,
all.
yeah.
So
No.
very, very valuable organization, and I'm looking forward to maybe one day we may have a franchise in Baltimore, and you can come and head that up and get it going. But
That would be nice.
so I do appreciate you coming on. And is there anything else you would like for us to know before we close out the show?
No, it's just that, for me, I am Baltimore through and through, and I always will be. I very rarely come to Baltimore anymore, but
We
Baltimore
got to
really,
get back to Baltimore.
right. But it shaped me. I think there's more Baltimore in me than St. Paul's or Temple or anything, but Baltimore was the basis. And I came out of a rough neighborhood. It's basically what you decide to do.
Yes.
But I got solid values out of Baltimore, out of living in Harlem Park, and I carry that with me. And I say that toughness got me through everything else.
Okay.
So for anybody in Baltimore that's like fighting it, take what you can from it. There's strength to be gained from what you're going through there,
Okay.
and that toughness can take you wherever you want to go.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kelly.
And we will be in touch, and stay safe. And until the next time, as my uncle always said, hold on to what you got until you can get what you want.
I give my word. I'm forever on your side. We've faced the worst, and we did not let them see us cry. Onwards we go, and we are the heroes of whom no stories.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show, took some notes, and we found that Mr. Woody had a lot of interesting things to say. And now we know that fathers play an important role in the lives of our children, including mothers as well. So thanks a lot for tuning in, and until the next time, stay safe and God bless.